Mm.
And we're live.
And we are
This
live.
is episode 6 of The Intimate Show, and today, as guest, we have Annelle, all the way from Poland. And Annelle is
Well,
sharing the link on her Facebook wall now. That's why she's so concentrated.
yes, I'm trying to find the link, but I haven't found it yet. It's
You will
still,
refresh my wall,
live.
and so
We're
yeah, we're
probably a few
laughing
minutes live.
because we're experiencing the beauty of chaos, and it's a very spontaneous, intimate show. We both felt to do it, but what would be the subject? What would we be talking about? Well, I'm not going to make it that easy because we have one thing that we're going to be mentioning, but I don't feel like the show should be specifically about that because it's about a webinar that will happen in a few hours from now.
So,
But yeah, that's for the webinar. So we're first going to start spontaneously by what actually? Yeah,
maybe
let's
introducing
start with the
ourselves.
beginning. Say something about yourself. Who are you actually? Most people
Who am
maybe don't know
I?
you.
I just
Who the
came
hell
out of
are you?
nowhere. My name is Annelle. I am a spiritual teacher and I support women in really reconnect with their divine feminine potential by accepting the sensual self, the aspect of sexuality, and really embracing their unique career where they can feel fulfilled, happy, and really open to the infinite flow of income stream.
Only women? Because I remember you also helping men and you helped me with the same
I
thing,
do
but then
help
on
men,
the masculine
yes.
side.
Yes, I do help men, but I mainly focus on my social media, mainly for women, but I do support men also. So when they come, I definitely open my heart and support men also. And they do come, they do show up. So, yes, I do see myself showing that kind of area more publicly also. But, step by step.
Yeah, I mentioned this because you helped me really a lot. Was somewhere last year, I think. Was it summer? I think it was summer or end summer, something like that. And it was your initiative, so it was not me coming to you asking for help. It was actually you who initiated it, and I think it was also like a test run for you, if I'm correct. I'm not sure now. Like
Yeah,
I was one of your guinea pigs.
one of the guinea pigs. Yeah, I think you can call it this way. But yeah, I do support. I mean, for me, my purpose, my calling, what I feel deeply within my heart, to really embrace the presence of the divine within our unique calling, within our mission. And either it's a woman or a man, we all here have come on and have an amazing purpose in this world to make a change. First, it starts always within us, and that's the key to everything in our lives. We can only work on ourselves, and but when we really embrace the unique frequency of the divine I am within our unique blueprint, then we've come to a moment when we actually feel the desire, the passion, the calling to support others. And when we do that from the space of the heart, then the path it's easier, more creative, and it comes more through ease and flow. So yeah, to me, it's all what I do. My life I dedicated to really explore myself through really opening the doorways to the divine I am in every area in my life, and that's why I part of my journey support women at the same time to do the same. because that's what I do in my own private life.
I also realize that we also people may watch may watch on your page. So maybe I should also say something about myself for those who don't know me. So my name is Lotfi M'Rad. It's written under under my finger there, and
What do you do?
where to start? Well, what do I do? I was just thinking like where to start. So on one hand, I work with entrepreneurs, and on the other hand, I work with people who want to work on themselves, who want to free themselves. Freedom is really a big thing in my life from young age, and it is my journey. For those who know the Gene Keys, I have freedom clearly in my profile, and that freedom that comes from within. So my journey went from trying to find my freedom in the outside world towards finding it in myself, and especially in the last 2 years, that has been the main thing. And it resulted actually end of last year to really reach a level of inner peace that I hadn't imagined possible. So I was really happy. So at the end of the year, I was really looking back like, wow, I did that. And that's one of the things that I try to transmit to others, that it's possible. And I try to inspire people by sharing my experiences so that people, can see like, oh wait, oh that resonates with me, or I recognize something, oh I can do this or that or that. So that's how I try to inspire people. And when I work with entrepreneurs, it's very connected, because if you're not feeling good on the inside, then that will reflect on your business. And I've seen that myself, that my business has been doing this because I was doing this. And as soon as I started to get more in a balance, my business started to balance out. I'm not saying it's all the way up, but I can see how there is calmness there is peace. And I've been struggling with different aspects, like especially in the last year with loneliness. But then I discovered that, thanks to a few good friends of mine, that loneliness is actually something within yourself, lack of connection with the self. So I worked on that, and then the loneliness just poof, disappeared. And so I went through different things this way. And people can find more. You see already my website is there. Let's put my finger. Yes, there, intuitiv.me, and you can see there what it is I'm offering and how you can also get inspired or put your questions, because generally it starts out with a question, and you have to do the work yourself. I always say, when people ask me like, what do you do, or how do you work, I say like, I make you pay me so that I kick your ass so that you do all the work. And then people look at me and I'm like, yeah, because if you don't do the work, you will not get in shape, because that's basically it. If you want to run the marathon, you cannot say to your neighbor, hey, do you want to go and train for the next 6 months so that I can succeed in the marathon? No, you need to work out yourself. And the word work may sound like, and it's a negative word for most people, because most people really don't love their jobs. But it's taking the time and dedicating it to yourself, like being worth investing in yourself, time wise, maybe money wise, energy wise. It's like doing the effort to cook a nice meal so that you can actually enjoy it, but also get healthy from it. And that's the same with personal development. It's about taking the time for yourself, where we often invest time in others. When people ask us, yeah, okay, we're available, or our boss says, okay, we'll go. But how often do we really sit down with ourselves? And that's one thing I've been doing a lot. I didn't have much of a choice. Okay, I could have spent a lot of time gaming because, yeah, with the whole situation, there was a very little number of clients left. But I decided to take that time to really sit with myself. And I've been talking with my friends, and you, Annelle, you're one of them. And I'm not talking specifically to you, but I'm talking to the audience now. But I also know that Annelle has been doing the same, spending time with herself also to discover like what is really going on within me. And all my friends are doing this. And that's how we are all evolving, how we let go of blockages, fears, frustrations, anxiety, whatever it is that is keeping us from being free, happy, and have that inner peace. So
It's really, yeah. I think that the lockdown is it's actually a great opportunity to really discover yourself. It's a time when there is more time to really go inwards and start to create at the same time. Really ask yourself question: what is it that I love doing it? Who am I really? What brings me joy? What lights me up? And really go inwards with that. I can see we have someone watching. Say hello, guys. Let us know where you're
3 people
from.
actually. Oh yeah, it's going
Mhm.
up and down, but I never really pay attention to how many people are live because I know that most people actually watch afterwards. So I'm not too much focused on that. But if you're watching, you can, if you're on Facebook, you need to click that link. But it says already, if you want to comment, you need to click that link that you authorize StreamYard, because then we will see live also your comments and your questions. If you have questions, we can answer them. If you ask the questions afterwards, both Annelle and I will take the time to look at the comments and answer them or contact you, or you can contact us directly if you have questions. Um, so
Yeah.
one of the things that you have been working on the past year was animals. Could you elaborate a little bit
Animals.
on this? Because people may think
Mhm.
like, what, animals? Wait, she was just talking about working with women on their femininity, with men on their masculinity. Now animals, how does that fit in?
Yeah, I
Please
mean,
share.
it does fit in because animals are really our soul brothers, soul sisters, and they are our spiritual teachers also. If we choose to acknowledge them from that side in our lives, and they can be really supportive for us in really bringing us back to alignment with our unique heart calling. And it can happen in many ways, because animals, they really have this energy. I believe animals, they really have the type of energy that we on self-development, on a spiritual journey, moving towards to. Like when you think about dogs, they're just so compassionate, so unconditional, right? It doesn't matter if you have how much money you have, if you look good or not, if you're homeless or rich, they don't see that stuff. They don't look at the stuff. They love equally and unconditionally. And
They
that's the
connect
essence
here.
of the divine, right? That's the love that comes from a pure heart. There's no conditions. I love you if you give me this. If you don't give me this, then I don't love you, right? I mean, it's not the case with dogs. So to me, animals really are uh, really have the unique essence, more connected on a deeper level with the divine essence, where we still you have these limitations, these beliefs. And yeah, and then the animals, they also have their own unique heart desires in their lives. So it's like the same like us. We have our unique passions, right? Every single person, we all the same. our unique, our essence, the pure essence, it's love, right? It's the unconditional love. It's just ease. There is no time even. But within that, each of us have a unique blueprint, which kind of reflects in our passions, in the different type of people that inspire us, in the different type of even countries that we like, right? Everyone have their own different likes and dislikes. And so that's the part of the likes, the part of the inspiration, what inspire us. It's the part of this unique blueprint from the pure essence that comes beyond the limitations. And then obviously we have the ego that try to tell us, no, you're not good enough to get this, you don't go there, or just hide. Why would you go there? It's not safe there. And that's the game in this life. That's the part of the divine design, that we call in this planet life, to really allow ourselves to be in the flow, and follow the joy, follow the ease, and accept openness to receive. um, and the dance starts between the light and the ego, right? And animals can support us in really bringing us back to the heart space in many ways. And one of the ways is even by being with them in the present moment, being with them in the present moment, and being even the joy, playing with them. Each animal, as I mentioned already, they have their own unique blueprint, unique heart calling in this life, because they also feel the presence of the divine. They also have this energy, and I like to call it the whispers of the heart. It's this kind of intuition, this little voice that it never leaves us. And if we don't follow our passions, the voice will be there. We will feel unfulfilled, we will feel emptiness, we will feel loneliness within us. And somewhere within deep that voice, there will be still this calling, no, go this way. Be the embodiment of the divine masculine, right? And that really, animals have their own unique heart calling also. They also feel this type of desires to support us, and I'm talking here specifically mainly about animals who are in home with us. When and the important is that we feel this really strong bond. There is the bond between a human and animal, and they feel the calling to support us, because through that they exploring their own divinity in this plane. And so there is lots of blessings that we can receive with collaboration with animals. And as I mentioned, they can support us women or men in really tuning into our heart calling. And imagine, it's like I said in one of my lives, it's like the sacred language, sacred relationship. So when, let's say, woman and man, right, they come together and they really in alignment with their heart desires, that they feel inspired to follow their own unique, their journey together, right? And the relationship, it's more comes through ease, through joy, through passion. The same applies to animals and human. When there is a for example a dog and a woman, and they really feel the connection, and they really support each other in alignment with their unique heart desires. Then we're talking about here about the perfect match made in heaven. And they support themselves on the pathway to love, to enlightenment, through inspiration, and really exploring themselves through their unique heart desires. So That's just amazing when you think this way about the perfection of the divine design, that no one is left behind.
I picked up two things from what you said, and I would like to shed the light on them a little bit further. One was you said being in the here and now with them.
Mm-hmm.
Animals actually pull us to the here and now, where we are often with our mind somewhere else, where we would like to be, where we would like to go, what we want to eat later, what we want to do tomorrow, where we want to go on holiday, or after the lockdown, I will finally be able to do this or that. But then animals, when you really look at them, and if it's a pet that you can play with, like a dog or a cat, just caress, you forget everything else and you come back to the here and now. And the second thing that's linked to this is that they will reflect to you back what you're doing. So if you're with your mind somewhere else, they will turn their backs on you. Literally, they will turn their backs to you because they're like, okay, you're not here with me, so okay, screw you. And they turn their backs, and then you'll be like, oh wait,
You might be
hey,
talking
why are you
about
turning
cats
around?
now. That
Hmm?
sounds like a cat.
Yeah, but also dogs. Dogs do that also. I know this from some friends. When,
Mm.
when when they're busy on their phone or their mobile, the dogs would, or their laptop, the dogs would just turn around and lay there away from you, turning their asses literally towards you and then looking the other way, like staring at the wall. And then, yeah, you can actually do something with that or not. And if you have a pet and you're working from home, it's the ideal thing to take your break, to just spend a little moment in the here and now, which also helps you to prevent stress. It helps you with better focus because you
Yeah.
clear your mind. So when you go back to your work, you have a clean mind, and then you can actually see how things fit together and you can resolve the problem that's in front of you, for example. I mean, I always recommend a 3-minute meditation, and that you can do anywhere where you are, because there's always a toilet and nobody will bother you in the first 3 minutes you go to the toilet. But you just do your breathing, you ground, you come back to your desk, and then, oh yeah, and you have the clarity. And animals help you with that too. So they will tell you when you're not here, and they will also help you to really be grounded. And the physical contact is also important.
Hmm.
It's the
Yes.
same as you love your partner to caress you. And if you don't like that, then either you should look for another partner or you should come to one of us to have yourself checked. Kidding. But animals really love that. But it's not like, oh, you're here, now I'm going to come and caress you. Connect first. Give them a moment. Cat or a dog, let them smell your hand first. And then they'll do the movement like, yeah, it's okay. But they want to check you first, like, okay, are you here with me now or not? Or are your hands clean or not? I mean, they will always check. And if you're on the street, for example, you do the same. Like there is a dog when I go to office of a friend of mine. There's a dog and he's behind the fence always. But going with your hand through the fence to a dog, it's entering his zone. So what you can do is just you put your hand in front of the fence and let him smell. And then what you see is that the dog turns his head, comes with his shoulder to the fence, and then you know, like, okay, now you can caress. And so I built a relationship with a German Shepherd like this, a young German Shepherd
Mm-hmm.
who, when he sees me, the ears are up, and you know how the German Shepherd has these big ears that go up and like, "Wee!" And then he comes running to the fence, and then he's disappointed when I walk away. But the same with cats. Today was a very shy cat who entered the stairs, and I know the cat comes from my neighbor because she's feeding the cats. And I was looking at me, I was like, okay, I will not jump on her because I know she will run away. So I just slowed down and I just went slowly with my hand. And she smelled, she smelled again, and then she started doing this. And then I could caress her because she knew I didn't have food for her. That was the reason she entered the building. But then she was like, okay, caressing is also fine. And I love both cats and dogs. So for me, it was a nice moment in the here
Yeah.
and now. I was on my way up to do something, but I was like, okay, now here with the cat for a moment, and then after that, I moved on. But this connection, it's something you feel in here. Like you said, they have that unconditional love. So if they play with you or let you caress them, then they're connected with you here. That's why it feels so good, and that's why so many people really get attached to their pets because their pets are not judging them like, oh, today you have a bad hair day, or I don't know, all the stupid reasons that we have to judge ourselves in a negative way. Our pets don't do that. They're just happy that
Yeah.
we're there.
And I think it's also important to mention that animals have their own free will choice also. It's the universal law of free will choice, and animals have it also. I know that we're not used to it, and it's not commonly known, but they do have a free will choice. So as you mentioned about,
Oh, cats will let you know.
yes, because cats, each animal, each type of animals, they have their own unique frequency of, and cats, cats are really special beings, but they also teach us to respect our own inner values. Like, if cat doesn't want to do something, doesn't feel for it, it will not do it. And but that's amazing. Why? Because they teach us not only to respect our own unique values, but also to appreciate other unique values. That, okay,
And
without
boundaries,
judgment, the
boundaries
boundaries.
of
Yes,
others by
exactly.
being connected. So you need to
Being
connect, you be
connected.
in the here and now and connect with the person, then you know where the boundaries are. So that's a
Yes, and
perfect
also
teaching
do not
indeed.
take to yourself, right? That because someone doesn't want to do something, that, oh my God, I must be like this or like that. No, it's just people have their own free will choice. The same like animals, the same like cats. And with cats, obviously, we feel more the value of that because they have this, the inner boundaries within them very strongly. When dogs are more unconditional, they're more compassionate, right? With dogs, you can play, you can just do whatever you want, and you're just gonna be like, okay, I just love you unconditionally, I take it all. And so yeah. uh, and horses, horses unique frequency, it's freedom. It's freedom. And it always makes me sad, when I go and visit them in a horse stable, and I often feel, that there is lack of freedom. They really feel that. And so that's why it's important that we all kind of realize that, animals do have a voice. They do communicate telepathically with us, and every single one of us have that gift and can communicate with them also. It just, we all have that. We just need to remind ourselves about it.
Yeah, we sometimes forget that animals used to live in nature too. Like we know the zebras and the gazelles, how they live in herds and they go through nature, but horses are no different. They're the
Hmm.
cousins of the zebras, so they're used to the same kind of life, but we domesticated them so much that for us, a horse, yes, he has the thing on the back, so you can sit on it, but that is not natural for a horse. Some horses may accept it, and some horses may be treated very well, but I'm afraid that majority of horses indeed feel that they don't have the freedom. And the freedom doesn't need to be that they're in the wild, but that they get the space to run around. It's like for those people who have a big garden and they have a few chicken, those chicken, they have the freedom and they're happy because they have a big garden where they can move, where the ones in the farms, chicken farms, they're just like cramped together, and those are very unhappy chicken. And that's also why a lot of people who eat meat, a lot of people actually realize like, hey, wild or those who have been walking around freely taste better because the energy is different, and that thing of energy and how animals feel is exactly like us. When we are in a relationship or in a household or in a job where we lack freedom, where we're constantly pushed and bullied and things like that, our energy goes down, we feel bad, and then it also affects our friends because we're not fun to be around anymore, or maybe only when we're super drunk, but that's not really fun either. The same happens with animals and our pets. They reflect that back to us. Also, when our pets get sick, it's because they absorb something from us. They absorbed our blockages, our shit that we didn't resolve yet, that we didn't heal, our wounds that we didn't heal. But then when we heal them, they also start to heal. That's why it's so important that we are grateful to our pets for them being here. And today I had a call with one of my closest friends, and we did a healing for her dog. And I felt at a certain moment like, okay, now you can fire your dog. Your dog does not have any responsibility anymore. She's free to be herself and not to absorb or carry any of your stuff anymore, because she did that for many years, but now you can do it by yourself. So now you can set her free. And we could feel the difference. Me from a distance, but she felt the difference with the dog. And that was a very beautiful experience to have. And her dog is sick. So the first thing we did a few weeks back was we were intending to have a session where I would help, where I would guide, and together we would bundle our forces, because 1 plus 1 is 11. If you do it right, 1 plus 1 is not 2, it's 11 when it comes to energetic work. But then we realized, like, wait, we need to start with you, not with your dog. And then my friend started to release a lot of things. And then after that, in the next session, we worked on the dog. And she has been working on herself again since then. And that's why we could release the dog from her responsibilities now. So if you have
Yes.
a pet, be aware of this, that there is this connection. And just like your partner may carry your stress when you come home stressed, your pet is also absorbing it. So out of respect for your pet, try to process your own stuff regularly so you don't dump it on your pet, because your pet will absorb it because he or she loves you unconditionally. But it's not their job to do that anymore as soon as you're aware of it.
Yes, but yes, that's true that animals they carry the emotions of their family, friends. But I think it's important to mention also that they're empaths. They're empaths, specifically dogs. So they're kind of like a sponge. It's like us when we empaths, we just unconsciously picking up on someone's thoughts, someone's emotions, and we think it's ours. And imagine that, and people, we still have so many conditions on us, right? But the animals, they're so much more unconditional. And I think that people who have animals at home, they don't really necessarily dump the emotions, knowing, okay, I just don't want to have emotions, take them from me. It just, when we
It's
live
unconscious.
with people, when we live with people or with animals, we live like one soup, then when energy disappears, we feel the energies, emotions of our family members, of our friends, and the same animals feel also, because we in the same, especially when there is this strong connection, then the bond kind of organically creates this also. And that's why it's important, actually, when you do healing on yourself, that you will include animals that you have at home, that you will invite them, and like that they can also free themselves. And that's something, that's something that I definitely encourage my clients also to include their animals if they have it at home for the sessions with me, because that's so, so important for the animals also to feel lighter within themselves, and also to have the greater connection to their unique heart calling, to their, the energy of the divine. Because obviously the emotions, the same like with us, it just clouds this all, right? So it works the same way for animals. So yeah, we think we're different, like, we people, it's all around us, but actually no. I mean, we all come here to explore the connection to the divine, to really embrace our unique heart calling, and experience ourselves through our unique blueprint. And that's what animals here for also. In that case, there's not much difference between us. And I think the more we all remember that, the more we increase the value of life on this planet at the same time. Because the more we see animals as equal beings of love, of life, the more we're actually increasing the value of life within us, not on the planet, but specifically within us. Because whatever we feel within ourselves. We don't feel outside of nothing. We feel outside of ourselves. Everything within. So the way how we feel about animals, we actually feel within us about ourselves. Do you see what I mean? The way how we feel about other people, we feel within us. So the more we increase the value of life towards animals, towards trees, towards the planet, towards our family members, the more when we next to them, we feel the value, the more actually we're increasing the value within us. And that's just such a important message, I believe, for us all to remember, to bring the remembrance to, that nothing happens outside of us. Absolutely nothing. There's impossible to feel emotions that are not within you.
True. Is this also part of what you will be teaching in 2 hours from now in the free
In
webinar?
2 hours now, yes, we will be. It will be, yes. I will explain a little bit what I've been talking here about, and then we will do connection with animals. So if you have your animals home, then yes, definitely, I want to invite you. If you don't have it, but you really want to be curious and want to connect, you welcome also. And there might be an animal come your way who you connect with often, but it's not yours. And if not, yesterday I did the webinar in my country, in Poland, and there was one lady, she doesn't have any animals, but she wanted to learn more about animals, and she connected with her power animal, which was amazing experience for her. So yeah, you can do that also if you don't have your own animals, but you do want to learn more and hear more about telepathic communication with animals. You're also welcome.
That will be my reason for joining. I don't have pets at this moment, but I do connect with animals, and yeah, I definitely want to know more. And also my power animal, yes, definitely. I'm really curious about that. So for those who are interested, there's a link in the description where you can register. It's going to be through Zoom. You do not need to install Zoom. For that, you'll just get a web link, and there will be a replay. So in case the hour is like really horrible, or you're watching this tomorrow. You're like, oh, we missed it. No, register, use the link, register.
I'm not
And
sure if you're going to be able to register tomorrow. I'm not sure how the Zoom works.
we'll figure out something technical that people can, or they can just send you a message with their email address, and then you can send them the link for the replay.
Yeah, we can do
Because
that.
this is really very valuable, and we should not have a technical reason or a time zone as a reason for you not to get all this beautiful value.
And I just
So
want to mention that once you click, I think there is the link to a Facebook event, and there within the description you have a link to register. So please
yes,
register, because once you register, you will receive email with the link to a Zoom meeting. So it's
yes,
important that you receive the email with a Zoom meeting, because
yes.
because only clicking on the Facebook event I'm going will not get you that link.
So click going, because that will maybe encourage other people who will also see that. But click that link in the description, and again, if the webinar has already passed, you send a direct message to Annelle, because her name is also in the link, and it's also in the description, her profile. You just send her a message, and that's how you can get access as well.
Yes, definitely.
I'm really looking forward to it, by the way. It's interesting because how long did it take us to have this live?
41 minutes now.
No,
To
no,
do the
no.
live.
Since we actually first talked about it, because I remember it was
I
like
don't know.
somewhere mid last year that you invited me to your show,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to share it here because this is part of the intimate show thing. I mean, it's also the reason the intimate show was created, and from that also the spontaneous conversation show was created, because Annelle invited me for a talk. I don't even remember what the subject was, but it was linked to
Sexuality.
sexuality. Yes, but sexuality is very broad. I don't know what the specific subject was, but
I don't remember
I remember
exactly
that
also
I
what the
had
title.
2 weeks, no, 2 or 3 weeks time to mentally prepare, and I really needed that because I
You were
spontaneously
getting
said
out
yes,
of your
because
comfort zone.
yes, from deep inside it was yes. So I said yes, and then my mind started, and my ego started like, oh wow, you're really gonna do that? Talk about sexuality publicly, and what will certain people think of that? And this whole thing started to play. And I wanna say this out loud because I know there are so many people who would love actually to explore the sexuality, or maybe to talk about it with someone, or feel that they have something to share. But then there is the self-judgment also, but what will others say? How will others judge me? My parents, like, let's say parents. Oh, my parents hearing me talking about sex. Oh no. And maybe your parents don't give a shit, or they will never even know that you're doing it. Most people not have the balls to go and tell your parents like, hey, did you know that your son or your daughter is talking? No, they won't. But it's a fear because we're conditioned and we have all these blockages. And I want to tell you, you can break through that. Yes, I remember it was 14 days, and it took me 10 days of stress. And moving forward step by step through those 10 days, talking with different friends of mine, having a friend who called me out of the blue after 6 months of not speaking. He just called me that day to just tell me something. And I want to share it here too, because I was like, yeah, what will my father think, or what will people around my father think because of culture and whatever? How will that affect him? And he was like, why not? Oh no, why wouldn't it be that if you step in your strength, you actually create the space for your father to step in his strength? And by that, when
Yeah.
we talk about the strength, mean letting go of the judgment. It's just like when I was a teenager, they were teasing me about my nose because I have a big nose. But literally 48 hours after I realized something about my own nose, that I was the only one of the family who inherited from my grandfather, who was a great man, I was so damn proud. Within 48 hours, nobody was teasing me about my nose anymore. Well,
Is that how
no,
it
not 20
works,
years, but
right?
like, hmm?
That's how it works. What you feel within, it reflects outside of you. Once you shifted
Yes,
that, the outside reality shifted also.
yes. So I'm telling you, it's possible. Annelle, she did it. And then she encouraged me, and I did it. And then I encouraged other people and had different people coming on my show who all went at a certain moment within their lives through this fear. And then it was possible for them to come on a show and talk publicly, somewhere live, somewhere recorded, and then went public. And so, please, if you feel that you have something to share, you're welcome to talk with me or with Annelle or with somebody else. But take that step. And both Annelle and I went through this, so we can also help you in this. You can come to us just to have the courage to do it. Doesn't mean you have to go on a life with us, but just work on it to let go of that fear.
It's
And
yeah. What I've learned about fears also that they're only allowed until the moment we listen to them. Once I've seen it with myself so many times, and actually I can tell you a story which perfectly reflect that. Once I was staying looking after the dog of my friend. She had a nice cottage next to the forest, and I used to always afraid forest at night. And I was there by myself and living by myself, and I just said like I've got to break through that fear. Like I really have to break through that fear. So I've decided that I will walk. It was maybe like 500 meters from one side of the forest to another. And by the end of that path, there was like a beautiful view, a landscape. There was like a landscape, open space, right, and forest all around. But in the middle, there was like an open space and quite beautiful view. So I had this idea that I will walk from the cottage. It was just like opposite. Walk from the cottage at night to that view and then come back. And and so yeah, it took me a week to get to that, to prepare for that. And I've tried for 2 times, like okay, that day I'm gonna do it for sure. And then this day came, I was like, no, it's not this, no, it's too wet, it's something. So I was like, okay, no, it has to be a better.
excuses, excuses.
Exactly. So then I was like, okay, so that day, and then it was like, okay, again, the fear was so loud. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it, not gonna do it. And then the third time when I said, okay, it's gonna be this day, I realized that my calendar, I also came to the end of staying in this house. I was like, if I not go and do
Now
it,
or
it's
never.
not gonna happen. So it's like I didn't have a chance. Like it's like now I really have to do it. And I remember meditating, trying to calm my fear. Like I was meditating and just trying to calm my fear, like, so I feel more confident to do this. But my fear in my mind, it was getting so loud. I had like a witches flying in the forest, like some demons in this forest, like a whole stuff. And it was just so real in my mind. And I was like, man, but something my heart told me, it's just an illusion, you save with that. So I made it. I walked through that path in the forest, and when I was walking, it was just beautiful and silent. Like my mind was not active anymore, and the forest, it was just the forest at night. It's actually quite magical. The energy really changes. It's different. I love forest day, night, but because I never experienced before at night because I was afraid. So I didn't realize that the energy is very subtle, very peaceful, like calm. And there is this energy of magic at night in the forest. So that was amazing experience. And then I came back and I was just so happy with myself. Also, there were no witches, there was nothing, you know. But that's how our mind works. It gives us, really shouts out really loud when it's afraid of the change, when it's afraid of something new. And it does that until we actually take that step. And when we take this step, then the all noises disappear, and then we feel safe. And until we take that step, the fear is alive. Just so the question, if you guys experiencing a big fear in your life, ask yourself what action steps you can take that will create the inner peace in your mind. And just do the baby steps. Allow yourself. Exactly. And then your life will never be the same. Because
And you do not need to know all the steps. You just start with one step, the first
exactly.
one. And after that, you'll know what the next one will be.
And the bigger fear is that the more shouting out, there is actually bigger transformation on another side. Seriously. From that moment when I walked to that forest, I had this fear of being even home alone when it was dark. It wasn't as loud as I was growing up, but I was never really I never felt comfortable when I was on my own and there was just like a dark room or something. There was always something, like something in my mind was. But since I walked that forest, it was gone. I was feeling comfortable, and I remember there's something else I noticed, a change, that I was more I was less I can't remember exactly now, but I think it was also, I realized that what I was afraid of, it was just my own shadow, the fear of your own darkness within yourself, which doing that really helped me to open up more to more light within myself. And that was really something unconscious. I wasn't even aware, just it's such a normal story that so many people are afraid. Who wouldn't? Most of people are afraid to go to a forest at night. And for me, it was a big fear, because I remember even as a child, when I was as a scout, I think I could get like I don't know how you say that in English, but like a special prize or something. And
The badges, yes.
Yes, the badges. And to get that, there was like a 3-day trial that we had to do. One was not eat all day, second, to not speak at all, and the third, to sleep in the forest by yourself in the tent. So I remember I was thinking, I was like, I don't know, in my maybe 15s, 14s, I was thinking like, man, I can do this too, but night at forest, I would die. There's no way I can do this. So somehow this kind of big fear of being in the forest by night was active within me throughout most of my life. So unconsciously there was a sabotaging field that was running out, and I was not aware of that. So yeah, it's important to, but I would recommend to do baby steps. And I'm not saying for everyone walk to a forest at night, because you do what you feel in your heart is the best right now. But yeah, think about it, guys. When is your biggest fear right now? And then ask your heart, show me the baby steps to overcome that. And that's my story with lockdown also. Every time with the coronavirus, when I felt locked, when I felt the fear of corona or something, every time when I looked into myself, because as I said, this is part of my life. Everything happens through me, nothing outside of me. So when I felt the fear of lockdown, or somehow I was feeling locked, I asked myself, where do I feel locked within myself? What am I locking within myself? And every time when I tune and I find the answer, and I took action steps Because with the coronavirus, it was very interesting that actually I really had to take the action steps. There was no, I couldn't really find a way to heal that fear. There was just like, no, you've got to take action steps. So when I was taking the action steps, it was just dissolving. It literally was dissolving. The fear, the tension, the feeling of being locked, it just dissolved. And I felt more freedom within me. And actually, the story of lockdown for me, to me, it's a freedom within. He offered me a freedom. And for so many, it's a lockdown, right? But
Because
that's
they're looking for the freedom outside of them.
exactly. But the freedom is within us. And when we feel the freedom within us, that's how the presence of the divine can flourish for us. Because it's not going to flourish from outside of us, it's only within us. So always look within and find, ask your guides, ask your, spirit power animals, ask your, support guidance from your animals at home, to show you the way, show you the little action steps that you can take.
Yes, and there are many ways of connecting to them. I mean, meditation is one of them, and meditation not per se sitting for an hour like, no, I mean, I love to meditate while laying in a warm bath with my magnesium salt or with baking soda, which is base, and I just lay for an hour, hour and a half, and then I really ground, relax, especially in the winter is very nice because it's warm. And I do get the insights. I do get much deeper than if I'm scrolling Facebook, for example, which a lot of us are doing when we're bored or we want distractions. But the nice thing when I'm laying in my bath, what kind of distractions can be there? Almost nothing. So I automatically go inwards. And a walk in the park can do the same, or sitting in the park. Find that thing that you can do that helps you to really calm down, to empty that mind, so that you can go
Yeah.
inwards and connect with your heart. And you can also sit and put one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and try to feel what you feel under that hand. You can do it now while watching. Just put your hand, and you will feel at a certain moment it will start to warm up under both. And then you know that the energy is flowing and that your chakras are active, and then you can connect them. Just visualize the energy flowing, and then you can let it flow further till you take all your 7 chakras. If you don't know too much about chakras, you can find on my website on the tips and tools. You see chakra basics. It's very simple. But just put a hand on your belly and one on your chest. Just start with that. You don't need to know anything about chakras. Just be conscious where your hands are and breathe, and you will start to feel the calmness. And all the thoughts about work or all the things you're stressing about will start to dissipate. And it's a good exercise to sleep better. To do that at night before you go to sleep. And also write down all the things that you need to do tomorrow. Write them down, because then you don't need to think about them and you can empty your mind. Or before you want to meditate, write down what I need to do later today. Write them down so you cannot forget, so your mind doesn't need to keep going through them just to remember. And then you sit and you connect. And if you have a pet, you sit with your pet. You put your hand on the pet or you caress slowly, and sometimes the pet will just come and lay against you. And then beautiful things come out. And it's absolutely not scary. When you feel the fear, then it's just that it's about the unknown, or about that huge step into your greatness is what scares you, because it's change, because you don't know it. But how much do we actually know? Yet we have beautiful experiences. Just look back at your life. There were so many things you didn't know, but then you experienced them, you did them, and it was beautiful. It brought you where you are today. It brought you wisdom, made you stronger, You got to know new people, so don't be afraid. Have the courage to take that step and ask for help if you need support. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength and it's being smart. You're actually very smart if you ask for help, so ask for help.
I've learned that also. I used to be a person that didn't like to ask for help.
Yeah, I've been quite good at it actually, and me asking for help is what got me where I am today because I'm not sure I would be sitting here having this conversation today if not for all those beautiful people who came on my path.
Hmm.
And yes, some helped me in a strange way by being a total asshole or a horrible boss, but I learned a lot even from them through those experiences. I learned to set my boundaries and then I learned to not just set them but also protect them, enforce them. But there have also been so many lovely people who, yeah, who are just there when you need to share something, to ask, or just tell your story. Sometimes by just telling your story, you get your insights. So don't keep everything to yourself. Talk with your friends. It makes a huge difference. Just like us talking now, it's also transforming something within us while doing this live now. I mean, I was tired today. I didn't sleep much again. I had a lot of processing again last night. So I woke up very early, but now being in this call, I feel fully energized. And my hand being here, I mean, is really warming up here.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you haven't put your hand yet, just put your hand.
Mhm. And I just want to add also that for women who actually some women like I love meditations and connecting with the heart. I love it so much. But also I find that I love to tune into the feminine aspect of meditation, which is a movement, being and connecting with the sensual self at the same time. And
Mm.
I think for many women also to really reconnect with their femininity, it's important to not forget about that area in our lives, which is sensuality, and really allow ourselves to open that flower within us because it's a big part of our our feminine aspect. It's something that is part of the blueprint within our body and can support us really to lots of healing journeys, to really connecting with the divine feminine. So yeah, and the mask, and actually the meditation being stillness is the energy of the masculine, which is also important, specifically when women they feel really emotional. It's good to be in the masculine and just be a observer of these emotions, but also it's important to connect with the flow, with the abundance that is the area of the shakti and the creativity, the movement, and really allow ourselves to just be in that space and really just embody the divine feminine at the same time. And animals can support us in that also because they of the unique frequency that they have. There is specific practice to do that, which I will be sharing in my future workshop, and that is coming. So yeah, definitely. There's so many ways. There is so much abundance in the divine design for us, and everyone will find something that can really bring them back to their unique heart desires.
Yeah, I saw that you started to move and you started to talk about sensuality and the feminine. And for those who want to dive more into that, I know that on Annelle's page you can go to videos and scroll back, and you will see it was during the summer, so you will see that she's very lightly dressed, and then you know, oh, that's the one, and she will be doing very sensual dance on that video, and that can really be inspiring. I mean, I as a man looked at it, and I really enjoyed seeing the feminine, being in the feminine, and yeah, I felt it in here. It was really nice. So I remember I watched it twice or three times in a row because it's a short video. But I really encourage you to have a look and maybe then put yourself some music and do a dance. And it's not
Hmm.
about
Yeah,
technique, it's about feeling how your body wants to move.
absolutely, absolutely. And I'm planning to do in the future some live streams where I will be connecting with the women to do with the sensual self. So yeah, definitely. Uh,
Maybe you can find that video and put the link of it, or I'll do that in the comments for those who are interested because it's really worth it. So we'll do it
mm,
after we close. Any final words?
yeah, I just want to give you gratitude for holding the space here for us all and inviting me. And I also just want to give great gratitude for everyone who is watching. You know, we are all on the same side. We are all come here to explore our divinity and our unique heart calling in this life. So it's worth being in a supportive community, and I love to support women because I think we got just such a powerful beings, including men. But I just feel really hard desire at the moment to really connect with the feminine uh, community more at this time in my life. Yeah, I just want to remind you that, you know, you're beautiful, powerful women, and you've got what it takes to create heaven on earth.
So women, join Annelle in the journey, and that will encourage us men to step into our true masculinity, which not nice to say maybe, but majority of men are not real men. They are not, they haven't embodied the real masculine. They just have been adopting behavior that they were taught through society, but it's not the true masculine, not the divine masculine. And when you start to discover the divine masculine, there's a big change. There's also the change in the relationship with the woman, the real woman, the divine feminine woman, which also many are not yet. Being a divine woman is not dress sexy or being very tough or only being very kind and very soft. It's more something deep and profound. The same for men. And just feel with whom of us you resonate, and we can help you on that path, both men and women. We probably will cooperate as well on this, so you will have both of us. But I've experienced the change because a few years back I started working on my feminine side first. That just came natural, was not a specific choice. And I knew there was a divine masculine, but I had no clue what that meant. And I was mentioning it sometimes, but I was like, what does it mean? And I could not find the answer. But I did find an answer last year. And I've seen how my relationship with women has changed through that.
Hmm.
And I saw it, but I also got that feedback from the women. And most of my friends are women. So I get a lot of feedback on that. Um, But that's amazing when you start to discover that. So I encourage each and every one of you, even if you already started it, to go even deeper. But if you haven't started, start. Start small, it's okay. Small steps. But have a look at it, because it's amazing what you're going to discover about yourself, but also the difference you're going to make in society. We say we want a better world. Well, a better world means we need to be balanced. We need to be in our divine, we need to be in our true strength, not the force, no, our strength. And maybe you don't even know what the difference between that is. Well, ask us, because we can share with you what we have discovered. Because we also had to discover it, because society is not raising you that way. Society is raising you to be according to a certain system, but that is very far from the divine. Once you reach the divine, you start to embody it, a new world opens up for you, which includes inner peace, which includes inner freedom, which includes joy, happiness, bliss. So have the courage to ask for help. Have the courage to start to do some research. And I guarantee you, beautiful things are awaiting. I'm going to close here. Thank you for joining me in this live.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for watching, whether you watch live or afterwards. Put your questions if you have questions. Contact us directly. It's fine. And see you next time. Have a beautiful weekend.
Lots of love, everyone.